Welcome back, everyone. It's time to rev up those engines as we get ready for our second semifinal of the LOS Scholastic Champ Spring Invitational. I'm still Hail Monkey Man, believe it or not, and alongside still the Mr. Bepic as we get into our next matchup of the day. We're going to go into a bit more of the north-ishness as we're going to see some representation out of Michigan as well as another school from the IHSEA. It's going to be Thornton Fractional South versus Linden. And you and I were talking about it in the booth a little bit there, Mr. Bepic, as Michigan is like the greatest esports state across like the United States, at least for Rocket League. They just churn out talent.
Yeah, I don't know what's in the water in the state of Michigan, but it's apparently stuff that makes you very good at Rocket League. Because I know, like at collegiate, you got Michigan State, you got Northwood, Siena Heights, like just the University of Michigan. I mean, you got a whole bunch of other programs at high school. It's crazy how good the Michiganders are at Rocket League, and so I'm interested to see if Linden can keep up that legacy here against Thornton Fractional South, because Thornton Fractional actually went undefeated in the round robin stage, while Linden lost in game 5 to Wheaton North in the round robin stage. So I don't know how this is going to shake out.
Yeah, this is actually a very powerful group over on the side of Linden. Maybe, you know, Flint, Michigan is actually having no water problems. Maybe it's all just for esports styling, but it's 3 seniors there for Linden High. So this is probably one of their last big hurrahs to enjoy as a composite squad to hang together. On the other side of things, you have kind of a mixture. You've got a freshman, sophomore, and junior for this other Illinois group. And I know that I'm saying it wrong, you know, it's Illinois, whatever, S is there, but I feel like I can kind of lean into this with some general confidence, Bepic, that I feel like one of our favorites is actually going to come out of this semifinal. I don't know, maybe that's too much, but you had actually spoken to how many games one of these teams, especially Linden, has played. Just hit them with some stats real quick on that.
Well, you know, on paper, just based on the ranks, like, first of all, those numbers, you would expect the winner of this to come out in the grand finals and be the favorites. But with Wheaton North already having beaten Linden, that could throw that kind of up in the air. But what Monkey Man's referencing is that Linden High School has played 56 series within their state. 56. They are 52-4 in the regular season competition, which is insane. And then you top that off with 240 goals scored at the state level, and so that brings you to about an average of just under 5 goals per game. So they have won an insane amount of games. I don't know how they have won 52 out of 56. First of all, I don't know how they've gotten bored. Or they've not gotten bored of winning just yet. Those are crazy numbers.
You know, champions always want to win. You were saying that motivation is found from victory. Well, maybe the same thing is just true out of these seniors out of Linden. But it's Thornton Fractional South as the squad that has to be able to find something to howl about. The Red Wolves out of Thornton, can they be able to take down the seniors out of Linden? We'll find out here in just a moment. Can the Eagles continue to soar? Will it be a bird fight on the other side? Does Illinois just have too many good players? We find out after game number 1.
Kickoff very neutral. Nope, that's a sign of things to come in this best of 7. After a 4-0 sweep, I would enjoy a series going the distance. Early pressure here from Thornton Fractional. Center ball here will be taken away. Maxwell put it up for TJ. TJ gets a good touch on it. So clear found, and we're off the races.
I mean, you're talking about kind of a bit of neutral play. I want to see this be an elevated mechanical situation as well. Zurza, who I think you and I spoke about, basically in concern to their naming pronunciation, but you know, they seem to be at least that type of player that wants to have their name in our mouths a lot of the time already. They're actually going to cut out Pictus, who was there on that back line. Another extension past the second man. They're looking for that corner side rotation and the handoff to Pictus. It's easy to see so far as to why Thornton is able to extend their offense from end to end.
50 centering the ball for Relic, but defense again prevailing. Both sides now performing well in the challenge game on their defensive half. And they're A couple of counterattacks for Linden so far, but mostly just attacks from Thornton Fractional, as they have controlled the possession of this game thus far. And we saw in the last series, the team that had the most field domination typically won the games in that best of 7. So that's the opening goal, though, on the other side. So maybe stats mean nothing.
Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Numbers don't lie, but often they can be inflated. TJ gives up their life as they end up finding a nice kick over to Maxwell, and that's going to be a great setup. And if I'm not mistaken, because for some reason I see them everywhere, and maybe I've just ran too many community events, I've seen Relic play, by the way. So I'm going to be seeing or looking a lot at Relic. This player comes out of is looking to go to GVSU. All right, and that is actually a massive kick up in terms of what they want to do at the next level.
All right, hey, set your sights high. I mean, so far, I'll ignore the danger of taking the ball across your own net, but well, it has looked fairly good in the opening stages of this game. Linden won the only goal so far, with Rev's not going to save as well on the other end of the pitch, involved with the opening goal. But hey, contributing as well. Maxwell, the scorer on that last play, looking for more, center it, but going to back off, not wanting to give too much away in the offensive zone. Still staying solid defensively, as Thornton Fractional have also looked threatening on their time spent in the offensive zone.
It's been a limited function for both ends. We've not had a lot of true shots, only 3, and, you know, we were kind of spoiled by the amount that we saw from Wheaton North in their previous series. They would generate 3 inside the first minute, and now both these teams struggling to get a couple of those together. Big demo onto Relic as Corey just wants to get them out of the field of play. Relic does collect, goes to the ceiling, uses the reset, lets it drop to the ground, but they don't have a lot of boost, and Pictus actually surmises that they can pressure him out. But again, Linden, even when under pressure, Thornton just can't get anything directly between the pipes.
I love that play from Pictus originally, but Thornton Fractional South actually going to score off the back of Zerza. It took away possession from a Linden team trying to transition into offense and then dunked the heck out of your boy Relic there. 1-1.
I mean, you know what? They went full send. They realized, like, all right, this is the only place they're going to be able to send this ball out. It was a great pre-read. So good job there by Zerza, who, again, I'm setting my expectations high for all these players, but especially those two on either side of this pit. Zerza is going to take a half flip. They're going to be having TJ right in their tailpipe. Maxwell on the feed. Oh, Relic just wasn't ready for the speed.
But getting right back to it, centering the ball for TJ. Wasn't ready for the first opportunity, don't convert on it, so what? You get right back to play in more Rocket League, and Relic just dimed up TJ, who slotted that shot. There were 3 defenders there, mind you, but TJ comes away with another lead for Linden.
2-1 with 104 seconds to go. And already we are having a very feisty first game here between these two. Zerza is going to try and find it over the top, and that's actually setting up an extended offense here in this forward half. Uh-oh, Pictus sees that goes the wrong direction, but Zerza's luckily there. Good rotation to make sure that one doesn't get any worse.
But it doesn't see possession, a bad touch, but the other way, Pictus getting Relic to just hover there for a second. The ideas of both teams, honestly, in defense. They're creative. They don't always pan out, but they are creative. And some ideas have panned out. Let the goal, let the stops. I'm enjoying that so far in this semifinal number 2. This is neck and neck between both sides. Offense is about 50-50. Shot production is very nearly 50-50. Scoreboard, though, still in the direction of Linden. They're looking for a third right now, but Thornton Fractional not allowing it.
And they've been really bleeding them out on boost. You see that frontside corner steal. Corey is actually going to get demoed as soon as they end up putting that one off of their nose. And then Pictus, they're going to stretch this defense a little bit back. So nice save, nice find. Relic goes over the top. Zerza, even on this possession, you have to be a bit more expeditious, and they're going to do it with a couple of key pinches. DJ on the miss, Maxwell on the cover-up, and they keep Pictus from finding the connection. 15 seconds to go.
Ball popped up, taken away by Relic. More pressure on the back line of Thornton Fractional, but they do win. Get the ball out, only as far as TJ though at the midfield line. Linden is allowing no such transition into offense that Thornton Fractional would need to just tie up the game. What lockdown defense from Linden there in the final 30 seconds, and they take game one.
And then right in the middle of the lab and trying every kind of experiment to get beyond Thornton Fractional, and they do it. 5 shots on both sides, by the way. It is about as neutral as it can get, except for both the assists as well as the goals that Linden was able to acquire. You're 2 for 2, so full 100% team participation on their goals, but for all intents and purposes, it was Linden that was starting maybe all of a step behind Thornton Fractional, but otherwise kind of just fending them off from the midfield onward for the most part in that later turn.
And these kinds of games that I'm hoping will turn into a series of a similar nature where stats are just dead even across all fronts. It comes down to generating high percentage opportunities for yourself. That's what Rocket League is. You see how many high percentage chances you can get on your opponent's net, and then you see if you can execute on those high percentage chances. And obviously you can pull goals out of low percentage opportunities as well, but Linden just got those better looks with the pass from Relic that I believe found TJ, and honestly the same that TJ gave Maxwell to answer what was the opening goal out of Thornton Fractional. In the back half of that game, Linden was so much better at generating opportunities for themselves that they were able to turn into goals. So going on to Neo Tokyo here in game 2, we'll see if Thornton Fractional has an answer. At the moment, the margins are very, very slim for both teams in the semifinals.
Yeah, this was a lot more team play oriented versus you had some individual antics, I like to call it, especially with Zurza. Flip reset gain, flip powerful. They use it directly on the floor, but they get the first defender to bite. Otherwise, can't do much off and away. Corey and Zurza, good communication, give them that midfield boost, and Pictus actually trying to keep this one up into the corner, but look how they're already hard rotating on top of each other. This is just the kind of the first minute I've seen that they can take advantage of this forward lead.
That is a double demo to open up a net for Pictus that was nearly saved. Linden almost got back to that, but Pictus put enough oomph on the ball to again get the opening goal for Thornton Fractional.
Corey just headhunting. They went from this near side, got the demo, went across, we're like, they're gonna spawn over here, and immediately just put them straight in the grave. There was no response defensively until the very last touch. It was already too late and way more momentum being dropped. So that's gonna be a first find here for Thornton Fractional. Relic on the rotate back. Maxwell will split the uprights of 2 oncoming attackers.
No respect. Realize that the boost situation was not great for Pictus. They needed to fall to the dirt and watch Maxwell take a ball all the way from their defensive end straight into the face of the defense of Thornton Fractional, where Relic finished off the play with a goal, and there's your answer. Linden High School draws level.
If that's a if that's a good read on a nice pass, is that what they mean when they say look maxing? I'm just saying. Maxwell make a great pass and hand it over to Relic, and they find it into a 1-1 while the entire production booth cringes at me. This is going to be a fine upfield by Zurza. Zurza, though, turn into ash as they try to just advance forward. Again, Maxwell, they can't find on the end of their nose this time, but Linden is finding a lot more pavement in front of them.
Well, that center ball could be dangerous. Relic catches up and actually demos Pictus as well at the end of the play. That wasn't even necessary. That just felt personal. Maxwell, though, thanks to that first demo, will turn in a second goal for Linden, and we're following a similar path to game 1, just a little bit earlier in the game.
Which means that this could get even more lopsided, or it could be an even more furious shootout. You're talking about personal, but they're definitely letting them know. Getting some of these extra demos just to make it more difficult to be in the moment as they go off the post. It's fouled by Maxwell, and they've been involved in every single one of these goals.
That's a great read. I don't know if it's momentum, taking them kind of into the path of the ball. Okay, they just waited on it, and were able to react in kind. But still a nice read by Maxwell, realizing the ball was going off the post and preparing for that eventuality. Able to, again, beat the last player back in Thornton Fractional, and this is a wonderful start for a Linden team that I'm sure would very much like a 2-0 series lead.
They would just want to compound upon what they can do against this Illinois squad. Trying to make it only 1 for 2 for the IHSEA to move into that grand final position. TJ maybe not a lot of momentum, but they're aiming for the sweep, and I guess physicality was the name of the game. Can't quite find the angle, and Pictus at least is finding the ball. But look how they're forcing this rotation to be such high alert from the rip off of spawn. You don't have any comfort zone, and they're immediately taking shots on you. Look how they're committing the second man off of the first approach.
They're starting to disrespect the defense of Thornton Fractional as they dive in for balls that should be read by the defense, but maybe haven't been enough for Linden to respect it 100% of the time. Either way, it's resulting in more and more possession. We're at about 70% field domination for Linden High School as they continue to operate on the blue end of the field. Force an awkward ball out of Pictus that Zerza will get back up and reach for, but that spreads apart the defense, though. Pictus hanging back, feeling that shot from Relic, and counterattack right around that Linden will convert, nearly convert on the other side as they send it right back to Thornton Fractional goal line.
Had a lot of height on it, so they were trying to land it short. And Zerza, I mean, good mechanics, but they just didn't have enough speed on the initial redirect attempt. So 3 goals. You have Relic sprinting. They're actually going to put a knuckleball in there. It's forcing the second defender. Oh, and Relic, a setup, and they force 2 defenders out. Where's Maxwell? They're going to come screaming through, but they go screaming to the night as they get demoed out.
Right in the corner. Through a couple. That's a neutral enough 50-50 by the Linden defender to stop ball. Stop this transition into offense. It's getting it to the midfield line. It's somewhat of a success for Linden, though I think Thornton Fractional will be able to take possession more handily. But Relic just strips that Thornton Fractional player there in the midfield. That is a good conversion on a defensive stand there from Linden.
There's again, kind of the point man here for the side of Thornton Fractional, but speaking to their namesake, it feels like they're only sending a fraction of their power. They found 1 good goal off of some demos, and apparently that first demo, it was just awakening the beast that is Linden, and since then, it has been a Michael Bay movie. Relic playing from behind. Maxwell gets the demo to lean out this attack, and then they immediately counterplay. Corey has no boost, but they at least feint enough to force these defenders out of Linden to stray away, and I think we're just going to end our last 30 seconds with just a demo fest.
We could. I mean, Corey has shown an ability to find demos on the offensive end, and if there's any boost for a follow-up, then you can see Thornton Fractional build off the back of it, but Linden boost starving them, beating them with extra touches, little deeks in the offensive zone. This is so controlled from Linden right now, very nearly scoring a 4th right there, if not for a skied shot. So we're going to see game 2 come to a close in a little bit longer of a time period than I was thinking, because Linden has now found a 4th goal.
They've been so creative about how they want to get some of these shots as well as passes. And again, you're going to have 100% participation, at least right now, out of Linden. 4 goals, 4 passes, 14 shots against Thornton Fractional. Maybe 1 extra, add it to the row. And that is also a playmaker medal there for Maxwell.
At the buzzer, pad the stats just a little bit. That is a very nice setup and an even better finish out of Relic. Linden High School, I guess game 1 was a warm-up game, man. They still won that one because they came into game 2 and just dominated. Thornton Fractional got a little bit back there in the second half of the game, but I think the shot comparison tells you the entire tale.
Wow. Yeah, that is a massive lean, 15-2. Fast math and big cash for Linden, at least in that game. 5-1. Every single one of those goals assisted. TJ getting the mix, but Maxwell truly the glue to really keep it between both Relic as well as TJ. And you know what, Bepik, this was Thornton Fractional. They had some good looks between, I think, Zerza and Pictus at the start of most of this. And then, of course, Corey, who was kind of taking on that workhorse mentality and position off of some extra demos. But they were not able to generate after minute number 1. Game number 2 was just a takeover by Linden.
And the reason Thornton Fractional struggled so much offensively that game is because they kept trying when they would get opportunities to clear the defensive zone for plays that required you to have a lot of boost. Whether that was Pictus or Zerza typically going for an air dribble to flip the field, or Corey running ahead and fetching demos on the front side, which those are great ideas, but you need boost in hand to just play in the air first of all, or follow up on a demo that may get you a little bit of space. And Thornton Fractional did not have the demo game in their, or the boost game in their favor on game 2 right there. Linden High School controlled the demo game. They limited possession flips thanks to that fact, and Thornton Fractional either have to now make sure they're managing boost better, or they're going for plays where you don't need as much boost, or also avoiding relic demos in the midfield. Either way, Thornton Fractional need a slight adjustment.
Speaking of oil or boost or whatever energy they use to power these cars, I feel like this map needs dinosaurs. I mean, you just look at the back end, it just feels like it needs some dinosaurs. Oh, but maybe also needs some shutdown, because the passing plays have been too influential here by Linden, as they nearly sneak one through here on the near side post. First half minute and more. Now in game number 3. Linden trying to maintain control, and so far that has not been a difficult venture. They're going to bean one a little bit too narrow of the post.
Hey, we might not have dinosaurs. We have red wolves on the pitch.
Okay.
At the very least, which I think is cool enough. That's a very cool mascot. But 60 seconds in, right now it is still Linden High School operating on the offensive side of the ball, as the Red Wolves are going to be conceding to the Eagles. A minute 5 in Linden. That's just straight up a clear that beats the defense back. Corey's put in a tough spot, can't quite read it, and Linden pick up right where they left off.
That's a tough place to be, because you know that one's just arcing in the perfect position, so you have to find it, but you put so much speed towards your own net. If you cannot get a loft to either get a placement off of your backboard or just to meet the ball, you're just becoming a brick flying at your own net. So that's a tough one.
Whoa.
Oh boy, so is this one. Everyone caught in the post, and TJ finds another.
And again, it's off of a great reaction from a Linden player. TJ, maybe expecting this touch from Corey, maybe not, but they had a flip in hand to adjust course if they needed to, and they used it to flip left perfectly into that ball. 2-0, Linden. They're just on a tear right now, and Thornton Fractional has to find something to interrupt the momentum of the Eagles.
Of the last 7 goals, by the way, Maxwell has 5 assists. That player is on fire in terms of participation and making sure that this team is headed in the right direction. Currently caught up in an own team rotation. Thornton Fractional South is not finding advancement the way they want to. They do get a touch here. Pictus is able to find some midfield boost, and Zerza is going to back it on up as they want to just kind of stabilize, find something north and south before they're just finding themselves trapped between the pipes again. Pictus, oh, that one, a little bit of a giveaway, but Zerza is able to keep it upfield.
I thought Zerza would have cut that, but was challenged from the corner, wasn't able to get it around the challenging Linden defender. So more defense for Linden, but a decent spot at the moment. And there is the big bomb of a clear from Maxwell. They will concede their life though for a moment as penance for clearing out, but Relic doing all that they can in offense to set up a 3rd goal. Zerza though has the ball fortunately placed at their feet, and they will be able to get it away to the defensive side.
Narrowest margin of error there to make sure that it stays off. A ceiling reset. Relic, can they finish the job? They don't even have to, as all of that extension finds another one here for Linden High.
Oh, that's so pretty. Kept momentum on the ceiling, got that extra flip, and just slapped that ball onto the goal line of Thornton Fractional. 3-0. I mean, we're running out of ways to compliment, I feel, this Linden High School team, because they are doing it on both sides of the pitch right now. They've had to make saves on the goal line, but they've saved both shots that they've given up to Thornton Fractional. And then those saves build into clears, into opportunities the other way, and a 4-0 lead.
Wow. You know what? For shame, Linden. You have 4 goals and only 3 assists. How can I continue to praise you? Well, 75% still not bad. A quick slapper, and they're just executing faster. You were talking about it being disrespect, but when we say that, we don't mean that in a negative sense, y'all. Linden High has so much confidence about the read that they're about to make when they're going against Thornton Fractional South's back half that they are already just peeling for it. Zerza finally gets them on the board, reminds them they can score.
Hey, you will take that if you are Thornton Fractional.
Yeah.
TJ, mistake there up in the air as the last player back defensively, and Zerza right there to clean up. Fair enough. Great read on the play. You deserve the goal that you get. Thornton Fractional maybe have found themselves a way back into this game, but they will obviously need more.
Need a whole handful of goals just to make sure that you keep with it. TJ will be able to get that save, and it is a congested affair over there on the near side post. But you know, you start wanting to, you know, get a little bit tested, see if your defense can still stand the test of time. As Zerza will have to back it on up. That becomes a drop down. I like that they already know to set up for that pass play on the arc and then immediately just try to slap someone in the face defensively. But TJ, look how they're navigating. It's a one-on-one versus Pictus. They send it over top, but they can't get the air dribble bump.
Good save by Pictus on the goal line. Left in a 1v1, that is a hard place to be in. With the player on the ball coming at you with all kinds of momentum. But it's a good save, and Zerza is back as the last player there. Thornton Fractional to at least slow down this Linden attack, but we have to see the Red Wolves gain more time on the offensive ball here as Pictus gets a shot. Still down by 3, but in a good position. Zerza, though, denied by the post and a couple inches on the secondary opportunity.
Corey, rather, ends up giving up their life. There's no one there to punish as they end up finding it from the midfield line, and this is similar damage done by Linden from game 2 to game number 3, and they're so close to being put into another 5-1, but it will be a 3-0 if this is not to change. Relic all over this back third. They were going from the backboard of this Thornton Fractional South squad, and you know that they're just gonna try to be opening things up, see what is left in the bag of tricks before they get to the grand final.
Another clean beat out of Linden. And yeah, Linden, it feels like, have shown us what in most teams' cases would be the full bag of tricks throughout this series. Just 3 games, but I fully expect to see more brilliance out of the Eagles going forward. As the job's not done in this semifinal, they still have 1 more game to go through, but if Thornton Fractional doesn't find an answer soon, then I don't know. This could be a very quick second semifinals. Thornton Fractional got 6 shots that game, which is a good change from the 2 they got in game 2, but they need to find a way to slow down the Linden offense that put up 11 shots and scored about a third of them.
Yeah, and then you're of course seeing that the vast majority are being put up by Zerza. I knew looking at Zerza and the way they play, they aim to influence their team, galvanize them through individual play, and then try to open up space in the same way. We're not seeing the same kind of passes because they're having to rely on just individual survival to start things off. Linden obviously they got physical after Thornton Fractional South got physical with them at the early portion of game number 2. And from then, they've been able to mirror and then do better than what Thornton Fractional brings to the party. It's such a just a difficult way or thing to deal with because you're having your own scheme and your own game plan thrown in your face and done one better.
Yeah, and Linden is really doing it much better. Their speed is just 1 notch above Thornton Fractional, which both teams are very speedy, and against lesser opponents, I think Thornton Fractional would be running all over who they're playing against. But they're being forced to hesitate in defense because there's always a Linden High School Eagle right in their face, ready to attack the ball, attack the defender on the ball. And that will cause hesitation, that will cause doubt to seep into your mind defensively, and doubt is a very potent poison. But Pictus just missing right there. That'll cause more doubt because that was such a good opportunity to find the opening goal in game 4.
It was, and shout out to Prod for bringing us over to Salty Fest because, in case you guys have no idea, this is the new map that came with the update for the most recent one for Rocket League, and it is literally salty shores with grass. So to all you non-grass hating map people, just get over it. Salty shores are still good, but this was pretty good too. So give it some love. Pick this from the top shelf, and for the first time in a while, well, I guess since the previous game, we get to see TF South with a lead.
Great 50-50 there by Zerza. It's such a different skill. Take a challenge in the air when you're carrying the ball because you've got to factor in gravity as well as every other variable that goes into taking a challenge right there. But they set up Pictus for success with that 50-50 taken right in front of the Linden net. Now lead found. Pictus popping up very early, trusting themselves in the air. I like that. Thornton Fractional playing with a bit more confidence on the offensive side of the ball. Now defense performance.
Be able to pick it up. Relic and the gang, they go full send and then this front side half, but Zerza's actually going to dodge away and make sure that they just kind of stick it out into that midfield. You see Relic and TJ just kind of chilling on this side. Look at Relic on the setup. They're going to bury this one deep, but still, as soon as they do, Pictus is finding some confidence. Flip preset. Oh, they're looking to hand it off to Corey, who actually just mad dashed into the goal line to see if they can get a demo.
Zerza bumping one player on the back wall. It's caused a bit of chaos in the Linden High School end, but Relic played it patient, sat in net, and then escaped and secured the corner boost. Linden still staying together. They're supposed to challenge this quickly. TJ does, using all their boost to do so, but Maxwell follows up that clear with a lofty little ball towards Pictus on the Thornton Fractional net. And there we go, Corey, big demo. And their defensive side to clear some room for Zerza to work with. I like that tactical demo right there.
Yeah, you're seeing Corey basically take on that responsibility. I mean, it's not exactly, you know, the main thing that they're doing, but they're setting up at least the ball as a drop into mid-neutral zone, and then they're also playing as a heads-up man to immediate off-ball player. They're trying to be the enforcer, if you will, but TJ has to get this ball out of harm's way because Pictus has been picking and pushing this ball into precarious situations for Linden High.
Back wall, Corey chipping it center, but didn't buy in quick enough to that play. Pictus salvaged possession from the midfield line. The Linden do find a way out. Corey out in front of their net. Pictus there to clean up, but also set up TJ in the process. Dangerous moment for Thornton Fractional, but Corey playing hero on the goal line, finding a save, finding a clear. Thornton Fractional find a second goal.
This one's not over, y'all. I was starting to talk a little too early, but Linden High is definitely seeing this one kicked against them. Zerza, always the opportunist, as this one ends up bouncing off the sidewall, and then they immediately found it in stride. So at 2:06, 2-0, looking pretty decent here for Thornton Fractional South. Can TJ find the immediate answer? They have a teammate. They bonk it high, but they're going to be able to get that clear.
That doubt that I was talking about Thornton Fractional playing with, at least in the last game defensively, is nowhere to be seen at the moment. They are playing with the utmost confidence on both sides of the ball, which I'm elated to see so often. I feel like you see younger players get very frustrated in series where they're not allowed to do what they're very much used to doing. That's dominating the team they're playing against. I mean, Thornton Fractional went undefeated in state play, 33-2 in games overall. And they have stuck with it here in Game 4, still playing hard, looking good on the ball. Linden High School generating more opportunities now as we get deeper into Game 4, and they will strike back. TJ cuts the lead in half.
Get at least one. You see how everyone has no boost here for Thornton Fractional. Pictus went for the squishy save, but TJ, because that drop down from ceiling, had other ideas, and Pictus had to respect it. And since they fell from the top side of the net, it was all that upper 50 horizontal to shoot at. 75 seconds to go. Linden High is going to start to ramp up the pace, and Thornton Fractional just has to keep on thriving and surviving. Zerza hoping to get something out of Corey. They're going to take actually a pinch up field. Relic in a one-on-one, but oh, they slap him on the nose.
Good positioning there. I think that was Pictus getting back to block that. The ball popped out to the side again, fielded first by Linden. Double commit on the goal line, but Zerza does well. Finds a good touch on the ball. Relic upfield, but cherry pick, but harm done is Fractional. They find a way out. 40 seconds left to defend their one-goal lead.
Big punch. Pictus started us off there looking to get a bump onto TJ. Relic ends up getting a bump onto them. That's an open net. Who in the world is supposed to fill the gap? Maxwell does. TJ gets demoed, and they're finding themselves a moment, at least a small fraction of effort to get beyond Linden. Relic all the way upfield. He's going to steal the corner boost. This one's going to pop out wide. That's another demo, and it's all pressure here. Flip reset. TJ waiting it out. Going to slow it down. Pictus comes up with a heck of a save.
Ball knows ball. Pictus waited on that play from TJ and made a great read on the goal line to potentially secure this game for Thornton Fractional, but center ball, again, shut down by Pictus. Relic slams it off the sidewall. TJ's there, but so too is Corey. Ball still pops out center. Maxwell pop up for TJ. Everywhere on the field, it seems, but so too is the Thornton Fractional defense as they get the ball to Dirt, and they secure their first game win of this best-of-7 semifinal.
Damn, that is a heck of a performance right there. And you know what? This time around, they come out even Steven when it comes to the shooting line between themselves and Linden. Shout out over to Thornton Fractional South. They're able to overcome, and it was efforts started by Pictus, who had gone very quiet since the first game or so. A lot of reliance into Zerza had made them very one-dimensional, but finally Corey was finding those moments that they were responsible for, and if it's off-ball play to open up antics like that, you have to also get Pictus and Zerza to make what they're doing out there accomplishable. Very much did so, and Linden, finally, a little blemish on what could have been a perfect streak, but instead, we go into game number 5.
Hey, Thornton Fractional deserved it. If you had two games that were, it was a 1-goal game, the shot tallies were even in game 1 and game 4, I would bet on Thornton Fractional winning at least one of those. So they deserve at least one game win, but now they have to demonstrate an exercise of consistency in this series. Can they replicate that performance? Because so far it's been 50-50. Whether they can keep pace with Linden High School, make the reads they have to in defense to play more on the offensive side of the field. And if they can't in this game 5, it's going to go back to a similar scoreline we saw in games 2 and 3, where the aggregate score was 9-2 in favor of Linden. The ball's in Thornton Fractional's court. Can they keep up this speed?
Go to one of the old school maps here as to see if maybe a old school Michigander squad will be able to take this going through. These three seniors, one of their last hurrahs as they're enjoy this, and then maybe a long summer before some extra Scholastic merit comes about. Relic on the elevation. He has Maxwell in his back pocket. He wants to get it past 2. Can't even get past the first one. As Zerza, I think they really started keying up that they need to make sure that these shooters don't get a free look before the second man.
Great, clear as well, powering through Linden players at this point. Fractional finding ways out that aren't just waiting for Linden to have a low enough boost tank to where they can beat them to a ball. They are taking initiative on the defensive end, but right there, initiative thrown back in their face as Relic pick this. Maxwell will get a center ball, but we'd already seen, I think TJ it was, peel off for good reason. They will get back, make a read defensively, and Linden High School reset.
Fantastic recognition, knowing when they're already beat based on spacing. And Zerza, they end up showing their trunk to their opponent, which is sometimes a death wish, but they were in a good position based on the bounce of the ball. Zerza, again, playing high-level defense. And you see how Pictus is trying to play midline sweeper against this 3-man attack. Corey comes in to disrupt as well, and we are scoreless here as we work through our second minute of play. Pictus, oh, that's Corey that finds a demo, opens up a gap for a moment, but we will respawn and resume.
There is beat Maxwell to the ball, but the challenge won by Maxwell in Rocket League. They'll Pictus taking another shot on target. Fractional is their second of the game. Oh, Linden have yet to register one, but a double demo that leads to a third. Those Zerza shut right on down by Relic, going out of the shadow of the ball, and Linden an opportunity right there, but they could convert.
Demos in a row here by Thornton Fractional South. Let's see if we'll be able to boom this one away. The Red Wolves now acting as a pack, trying to pounce when they have a chance. But TJ is a little bit faster. They don't get it from the ceiling. Relic looking for small pads is again another demo. High prioritization on just deleting and yeeting Eagles from the map of play. This one will go all the way out to midfield, but you're starting to feel like the Eagles are starting to bear down.
Eagles control now, momentarily. Red Wolves getting in their face again, but Relic finding TJ. setting up another center ball. But man, Thornton Fractional really up to speed on their goal line. So often it feels like they're generating the same kind of opportunities that we saw in games 2 and 3, where it's a center ball there for someone to shoot. But Victus and Zerza especially are doing such a good job of streaking back on their goal line or their back wall, wherever they need to be, to find touches outside their corner, hit that ball to safety, and work clears out of that kind of position. But at the moment, they're the ones stuck in the corner. Defensive Linden will operate on their defensive side. They'll get the ball over the midfield line and back into operating their offense.
Yeah, be careful though, because Maxwell was actually at center field, and look how they've now been able to pinch in. You do have that one quick kick step. Oh, and a miss by TJ. Zerza gets it, and TJ just wasn't ready for the pace.
Well, Maxwell gets bested here by Corey creeping in and taking that ball from underneath the play. That is wonderful from Corey. Good awareness and great awareness by their teammate to let that ball be, let Corey do their thing, and it catches out the entirety of the Linden High School defense. 1-0. Thornton Fractional with a lead somewhat late here in Game 5.
70 seconds to go, and they've had just 1-goal games now between them, as well as Thornton Fractional South. See if they can maintain that scoreline, but Linden, they haven't really had any great shots. They've had one. There's been 4 shots in total between these two powerhouse squads. And then Zerza gets credit on the next one, as this is just chaos at the top of the box.
Oh, Maxwell didn't trust Relic, I suppose, to get a touch on that ball. And so double commits forward, even though they had 0 boost. And again, it's Thornton Fractional punishing a Linden mistake in defense. Now, 2-goal lead late in Game 5. This series is really starting to get pretty interesting.
Yeah, this is not at all the sure thing that it looked like at the end of game number 3. Red Wolves are slowly finding their identity, and they've been very defensively minded here in this one, even only having to acquire 1 save. They've made sure that there's been very little chances to even look at the net by Linden High. Again, it's something similar to that story. It gets into the stripes and then nothing more. Really trying to get through traffic, and Pictus will cut them off.
Keep the play going in the corner, running out of boost, just playing keep away from Linden Cars at the moment. But we'll eventually lose. The monkey gets the ball. And out of the middle into the Thornton Fractional corner. Linden center ball, but it is too late. Another drop in Game 5 as Thornton Fractional continue their resurgence in our second semifinal. We'll keep this thing going.
All right, game number 6. They are answering the call to Bepix wants and needs. He said, give me a longer series. And they said, bet. Well, just wait a few games before it maybe starts happening. So on the way to it, 1 shot by the Eagles of Linden High. Thornton Fractional South with 6. And again, it's just the same kind of story, but they keep refreshing it here, Bepic, as Zerza gets mechanical. Pictus makes it difficult to maintain possession, and Corey just keeps usurping them on the field. And I feel like I saw just way too many demos. Do you have a demo count over there? They felt like that Thornton Fractional just kept deleting them from the pitch.
5 demos for Thornton Fractional. Pictus got 3, Corey got 2.
Wow.
So it was 5-1. There was one on the other side. Maxwell grabbed one at some point in that game. But even with that, Linden held to just 1 shot isn't extremely surprising, because a lot of that game stayed on the Thornton Fractional either back wall or corner, where they would find strong clears from. Even with 55% of that game spent on the Thornton Fractional side, a lot of it was in their control. So field domination a little bit misleading thanks to the adjustments that TF made in defense. And if they can keep that going, Linden has a lot of work to do if they want to close out that series.
Linden doesn't want to feel this one continue to slip. You got 1 extra game before you're both on the same measuring stick. And Thornton Fractional get themselves to go the distance. Best of 7 reverse sweeps are tough. Oh man, and already first shots being drawn here by Thornton as the Red Wolves continue to howl and just punch their way forward on this back half.
Victus, no double. They intervenes, but got 2 orange cars sitting on the goal line, and it works out because Zerza takes a shot, but that could have been punished if the Thornton Fractional offense was aware of the extreme patience of the Linden defense. But no, I'm done. We 0-0 in the first 40, and then we'll find a clear.
Jay, not a lot of boost, and that's actually been a thing. You were talking about kind of boost management for the side of Thornton Fractional South. They have been able to improve on that in spades, and on the opposite end, it's not been a lack of management, but Linden, they have to use so much of their resources just to escape because Thornton Fractional has been so much more confident that they just go upfield with nothing to speak of. They're having their back corners stolen. That's a nice demo, though. Relic gets rid of Zurza, who's that first primary threat, and then look, as they get respawn, they're immediately given a body check.
No boost, but on the back wall, still moving quickly to put the ball into the corner. Here picked us in an awkward spot, but all right, up the side. This has been the defensive structure for Thornton Fractional the last couple of games, and continues to work as Linden have generated 3 shots, so much better just in the first 90 seconds of this game, but still dangerous for Linden as Corey finds the top left, and that is a lead for the Red Wolves.
You feel like it's easy to see coming, but Pictus immediately turned, put a red targeter on an eagle, and clipped their wings immediately. Nice heads-up play by Pictus to clear the line and give them a free shot. And that's actually one of the few that Corey has had, be able to get into a goal. A rare moment for him, and that's going to turn into another lead.
Play here. Realize they hesitate a second, but they do well to still find it out. Trying to pop ball from Maxwell. He's a hair behind the play, so they have to back off. Reset, but they get the ball to TJ, who's always dangerous up in the air. No Zurza on the back wall again. Finds a great read, a great clear. The transition into offense, maybe a shot. Yes, also a goal. 2-0 Thornton Fractional.
My goodness. Just when you think it's safe, Maxwell's trying to be able to put something out, but I mean, that was all of basically a shadow play. You had, I believe it was Pictus that was the initial striker. He leaned away and just let the defense answer, but then behind him the entire time, Zurza was lurking. So good looks at this point. That's a no touch, and Pictus still finds an ounce of control because look how much respect they're now giving back to the defense, allowing them to act. Oh, a third one just barely gets away from them.
Those were like 4 consecutive challenges right there, and Thornton Fractional won all of them without a Linden player getting a touch on the ball. I don't know what has changed exactly on the Thornton Fractional challenge game, but it is so much better. And it's led to more opportunities on the offensive end and more goals on that offensive end. Now with a 3-0 in game 6, Monkey, the last 3, or I guess 2.5 games, Thornton Fractional lead an aggregate of 7-1, a far cry from the first 3 games of this series.
Wow, they're not allowing any developmental space for this offense to fire up from Linden. This Michigan squad now seeing themselves in the hole. Now remember, this is a best of 7, so there's one more game dependent now for this to be determined as a total series and who gets to go to the Grands versus a 3rd place match. But it feels like all the wind is in the sails of Thornton Fractional South. And Linden, well, they're just in dead air inside of a vacuum. We have less than 2 minutes to go.
Zurza's got full control of the rock now. Into the corner, 50 boost in hand. They'll get center to take out TJ on the near side. TJ got to stop. Maxwell now finding a respawning TJ. Though it's just a long clear going the opposite way. Zurza will field it with ease as no one contests. Doubles it center, and there's no one there for a shot before the defense gets there. Now TJ with an opportunity going the other way. Flip reset perhaps? Yes. Extra touch? Yes. But out to the side also? Yes. So no shot on, and the defense gets back.
You gotta feel like if you were Linden, you're just kind of going all in, and that's exactly what you should do. Try and just challenge uptick regardless of it being a better touch. See if you can find any kind of just momentum win. They do so here. Zurza has that go off the top of their noodle, and they get at least 1.
All right, 70 seconds. 2-goal lead, Thornton Fractional. If they lose it, then they could be in a lot of danger of going home, I think, a little bit earlier than I think they were hoping to. But see what we said for Linden, if they don't make a comeback happen in this game or the next, which Zurza, if either of those 2 options are on the table, it says it's going to be the latter one, as that goal should very well secure game 6 in favor of TF.
Corey is the demo king of this pitch. They got 2 demos just in front on that rotation as they went back to midfield. Untouchable. They get another one. You know what? They're taking their responsibility in a very, very seriously. They decided, you know what? I have to play off ball, and I will clear a path for Pictus and for Zerza to do what they do best. And they've made sure it is a difficult task to exist on this pitch if you're from Linden.
The thing that's impressed me the most with what Fractional's been doing defensively is they will challenge so quickly, like cutting rotation to get in your face, prevent an easy counterattack. When that doesn't pan out, there is still a player immediately ready on the goal line or back wall to make a read and follow it up into the corner like that from Zerza. The ball gets to the midfield line. It's a shot on from Relic, who is a very, very good player, and yet Zerza, despite being in an awkward position, makes the read on the goal line, gets the ball to safety, and this time around gets it all the way into the Linden end. But this game has been over for a little while now. Thornton Fractional forcing game 7.
Looks like as we go the distance, the all-Illinois affair could still be in the cards. Michigan bringing up one of their best, but Linden High, after getting a 3-0 starter, have seen Thornton Fractional South come right back into the field of play. I mean, the shots don't really lend themselves to as even as they were, as to being as even as it was on the scoreboard. 2 assists there by Pictus, who has really been the glue. But Corey, look, I'm gonna give a lot of love over to Zerza, obviously, with the hat trick, but Corey was like literally just putting head hunting on priority against Linden. Made it so difficult to just even drive out there. It was crazy.
I mean, Corey is the champ 2 on a team of GC2s, and that's not always the easiest role to play in, but Corey has played their role phenomenally throughout this series. Even when they were losing, Corey was still helping generate opportunities with good off-ball movement, and now that the tables have turned, you see them in the spotlight a whole lot more. So we get Champions Field, game 7, as Thornton Fractional looks to reverse sweep Linden High School. Let's not forget that this is now 3 in a row from Thornton Fractional. We'll see if they can do it here on Champions Field.
Relic wanted a bit of a car change, aesthetic, a new feel, a new vibe. Can it be so here for the squad out of Linden? Or is there just too much momentum for the Red Wolves? Corey, again, just kind of setting it into the zone. That's what their teammates are hoping that they can evolve into to really open up some of these motions for them to rotate. Relic and Maxwell kind of caught up into the same rotation at midfield, and I want to know how the neutral zone play really goes, because that's been really depicting how some of these early offenses are able to evolve.
Well, Linden has that early midfield third control. They're exercising it in the corner of Thornton Fractional, but in the moment that ball leaks mid, it's an easy clear for TF. Pictus now through the near side, gets past Relic, but not through TJ. Relic upon the rotation out will bump TJ, so awkward defense for Linden now that they are forced to play it. But again, this ball just stuck in the defensive corner.
Maxwell had to play a bit more patient there than they wanted to. Forward back. It's like me trying to learn how to parallel park for the first time, but still comes away cleanly, and they do so again. TJ redirect, possibly no. Can't get a lot of pace onto it, but Relic does get a demo on to pick this. They'll reset them back. Zerza wants to get a flip reset. They use every ounce of boost, and that's going to go over the top. TJ gets an undercut touch to it. We have more than 90 seconds here into game number 7. Still nothing on the board.
There's out to the corner. Corey up front trying to take out Maxwell, but Music's not on their side that time around. Pictus, same deal. Doesn't get a skim from the ball in the corner, so Fractional you have to retreat. But turn-based Rocket League. We started out with about 70% the first minute spent on the blue half, and follow up with the next 60 seconds. Both of that spent in the orange half. Field domination about 50-50 at the moment. Linden don't seem too phased by the fact that they could be reverse swept in a best of 7, and credit to these high schoolers for not letting that kind of pressure get to them.
I feel like they're also using these first few minutes, really keeping this at 0-0, even though it gets more and more tense the less and less time you have. That really helps neutralize some of the momentum that you've seen Thornton Fractional South be able to obtain. This one at the midway mark now of game number 7. Neither side bending nor breaking. Zurza can force all the defenders to come up. Relic ends up taking away some boost from his teammate and then gets punched in the face for it. So this goes out to midfield. Linden struggling a little bit to get into some bluer grasses. Maxwell and TJ, they want to link up. That one's going to squirt out, and it's going to end up going through. Zurza crashes the gate.
I thought somehow Linden was going to get away from that, but they do not. Relic needed like one more boost to save it completely, but Zurza had plenty in the tank, and their speed nets Thornton Fractional a lead in a Game 7 they forced.
2 minutes to go. Relic kind of backflips just to, I think they were hoping to get some more aerial time, but we have been missing the link-up plays. This is not the same kind of affluent passing. Maxwell, oh, they get bumped all the way down. TJ, we get equalized.
Someone got in the way of a teammate there on the near side of the Thornton Fractional net. Zurza was rotating back in. Corey was coming off the back wall. They glance into each other, and that was a great shot, first of all, from TJ, so I don't know. There's a chance that it could have been saved, but Thornton Fractional, a mistake leads to now 2 goals being conceded, as that was just a flub kickoff. Relic gets it for free.
Oh, this is a great angle to find, too. You go on the right side, and you sway it way left. And so 2 in a row. Linden, they survive the early, and then they take it late. Less than 2 minutes. Still plenty of time for both teams, but now we're starting to really break some extra ice.
The miss from Corey. Another one that made that slight mistake on a kickoff. We've all been there, but hurts even more on Champions Field. So trying to get it back is Pictus to the back wall of Linden, but Relic fields and carries out. Cut off by Corey, but that's a backwards challenge. Will push the ball deep into Thornton Fractional territory, but Zurza takes control now, shows their aerial might. 50 it deeper into Linden territory, but found. It's just slow offense at the moment for Thornton Fractional, though it's picking up now.
Trying to find at least solid connections. That's all you got in terms of fundamentals, because you've been able to make some of those passes, and then you force the defense to answer. Corey's going to have to let Zurza go over the top court, and now it's going to be too fast for them to handle. They can't find a solid piece. They've been flailing in front of their own net. Zurza with no boost gets it on the floor. That's a kickback. Big save by Corey. 50 seconds to go. Red Wolves under fire. The Eagles bided their time, been waiting it out, and they know they nearly sold the farm. Corey gets a demo. What can the offense do here for Thornton Fractional?
Put it mid. Maxwell. Put that dangerously center, but Zurza didn't realize there's a teammate behind to maybe shoot it. So Thornton Fractional have to reset the offense, but Zurza gets it out. Will follow it up themselves with a shot on. TJ in position, however. Find a save and a teammate in Relic out to the side. They pick up 100 boost and track down the rock in the Thornton Fractional corner, but orange car's committed for that play, so it's a clear and a center ball for Pictus. Zurza, though, backs off, shoots again. TJ there for the save. Now Pictus upon the rebound. Puts it to the back wall. Maxwell, though, a great touch to stop Thornton Fractional for now. Relic a clear. This could be it here. Thornton Fractional gets to Game 7, but Linden close it out. That's a grand final spot claimed by Linden High School.
It only took them 4 extra games to make sure they got it, but eventualities still come true. Linden out of Michigan will be joining the likes of their, I guess, another Illinoisan squad in the Wheaton North to go into our LOS Scholastic Champs Spring Invitational Grand Finals. A job well done, though, to Thornton Fractional South. The Red Wolves were never out of this. After game number 4, able to really advance on a couple of key mistakes. That is really where experience begins to shine, and you can't pin it on any one player to that. It's simply going to be a learning proximity for them, and a lot of credit to both sides. They were doing a heck of a job to make this go to a Game 7.
Absolutely. Linden to start off looks so dominant. Thornton Fractional looks so good, responding to the opening 3 games found by the Eagles, but Linden do advance, and we get a rematch as well of a round-robin stage series that went all the way to Game 5 between Wheaton North and Linden High School. Oh, Monkey Man, I can't wait for that.
It's going to be a fun one. We're going to see it just in a little bit. Don't go too far. And of course, shout out again over to our League OS cooperative of all of this, being able to power this entire Spring Invitational for you and yours to be able to enjoy on this national competition level. Make sure to head over to portal.leagueos.gg to set up your collegiate portal profile today. You got a lot of seniors out there. They're probably going to want to showcase what their skills can do at that next level. But you guys can also enjoy even more at the next level. We're going to have a special treat and a special guest to hang out with us just before our grand final. It's going to be after this short break. Don't go too far. We will be right back.